Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 79 of Midnight Poppyland on The Story Thinker. And today we have Erin and Vita.
Hi.
Yes.
All right, so Erin, if I recall correctly, you did number one, so you can take it away.
So we start off with the dreaded bugs. And the two of them, oh my god, I still am in love with the two of them, just huddled in a corner, just absolutely just terrified of these bugs. And Damien clenching, and Tora's just like, I can't believe I've given up a night with Poppy for this. And he's remembering looking down on her and her blush, and she's so cute. And he's like, F this shit, I'm sleeping in the car. And I hear him stomping around. I can just hear it. And Damien, holy crap, big bro, you're a genius. Why didn't I think of that? I loved that, the two of them.
Right, Damien with his like hero worship of Tora.
Damien is like quintessential little brother energy. Oh, man.
Well, and just the fact that I'm like, they literally, like, they're not considering like anywhere else in the house. Like, I'm not going to sleep on a couch or literally anywhere else. Nope, car. I think probably because it's somewhere that they know that they can keep the bugs out. But at the same time, just these city boys, what are we going to do with them?
It's like if they would kill all the bugs in the room and keep the door and windows closed, like presumably that would solve the problem. But I think that they can't even kill the bugs.
I was a little bit hoping that like either one of them would like call out to Poppy for a rescue, or that Tora would be like, screw this, I'm going back to her room with her. I will leave you to fend for yourself.
Oh man. I just love that she brought the humor from last episode and was able to transition it really well to this next one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we have our lovely logo. And then the next morning we headed to a little cafe in the corner of town where Tora and Damien waited. And we've got that quintessential like town square, welcome to Moonbright town. And then these dark circles, I was living. This is exactly what I wanted and needed it to be. I was kind of hoping we'd get the two of them just like still in the corner when Poppy found them the next morning, but this is just as good.
Mm-hmm. These poor guys.
And their matching t-shirts. We'll wait here for you.
T-shirts. I love Poppy's reaction. Oh my god, they're so cute.
Well, and, you know,
I feel like Tora would never have worn it either if it was literally the only thing he had left.
Probably.
I do have this adorable headcanon that Damien like went to his apartment. It had to have been in the back of a closet or the back of a drawer, and he was like, yes, this is the shirt I'm going to bring him.
Yep.
Yes.
So we've got that author's note that says it's the kanji for Tora or tiger. And he just says, and you know, she's seeing the superimposed tiger on the background. And are you still staring at the t-shirt? And she's got that smirk of, oh no, I've been caught. Nope, I'm just trying very hard not to laugh.
So cute. We're with you, Poppy. So cute. He's trying to preserve his ego. So cute.
Oh, so much. And I swear it was Pinky's idea, not mine. And Damien's just in it, like you said, little brother energy, off in his own world. I'm starved. Let's go let's do another cheat day, big bro.
Yeah. So I know there was I see that their workout routine and whatever includes not just working out intensively, but also like controlling what they eat, which sounds a little miserable, but okay.
Okay, Poppy eventually will cool down that diet.
Yes, all her junk food. That would be ironic if he ended up liking her junk food.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's already stealing Erdine's snacks at the office.
Right.
Like, I totally envision Tora as like a grazer. He's just gonna like, he won't have all of it, but he'll just like pick stuff up as he's walking through the house, like mindlessly while he's, you know, doing whatever, trying to be a civilian. He's just mindlessly grabbing.
I actually have a question for you guys, because maybe this is going to be a little controversial. Do we like Tora now with like his bodybuilder bod, or would we prefer dad bod?
Oh,
I'm gonna put that out there.
I don't want to answer this question because my husband is a dad bod. Like, it's. I really shouldn't say this in public, but my darling dear husband is 6'4", has the most stunning, amazing body. If he cared, but like I told you guys before, he just reads books all day. He doesn't care less. He literally could look like Chris Hemsworth. He has broad shoulders, broad chest. He has like beautiful legs, and like, but he has this giant belly because he doesn't care about. He doesn't exercise. He doesn't eat healthy. He doesn't sleep enough. He has sleep apnea or whatever. This whole thing. He's like very unhealthy in his lifestyle because all he cares about is like learning. And I love that he's so smart. Obviously, I married him because of that. But I'm like, you could be so gorgeous.
You're so smart and I love you, but it could be this much better.
But cuddling. Do you want to cuddle a rock or a teddy bear?
I don't know. He is very fun to cuddle, but I've never cuddled anyone else, so I don't know. Okay.
I cuddled a lot of
people. I'm just gonna put it out there.
I grew up super religious. Like he was the first guy I touched, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I've cuddled a lot of people in my life. We were very like I grew up in a very like touchy family, so like cuddling was always a thing. Like my husband also has a dad bod. When we first got together, he had just gotten out of the Marine Corps, so he was
fit,
like pretty fit, but like he has all sorts of like he has like disc issues in his lower back. He's got like Achilles tendonitis and plantar fasciitis and bone spurs in both feet. So it just like hurts to move most of the time for him. Like he's lost a ton of weight recently. We switched to like a different water bottle that has like flavor because he hates the plain water.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of drinking like a gallon of juice twice a week, he's now drinking more water. So like he's losing a lot of weight, and so he's getting a little bit back to that like more fit dad bod, which is really nice. But I think on Tora though, I think I really like the muscles because you can have those big muscles and still have them be squishy.
Well,
you just have to make sure that you're like stretching and relaxing a little bit here and there.
Let me say this. My ex was like really into bodybuilding, and like I loved the arms. I loved the jacked arms so much, but like the rest of him was really fit too, and it felt like I was cuddling a boulder.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That stinks.
But I feel like my fiance now is like, he's got the broad shoulders. We love the shoulders. He's got a little bit of the arms. I wish he had like a little bit more, but like it's so comfortable to just nipple right in. There's something about it. And kind of like you were saying, Mindy, I wish he cared to work out just a touch, just a little bit trimmer. But no, I totally want Tora to keep the arms, keep the shoulders, but just a little belly, just a little belly, just like here.
Like the Jason Momoa when he's not in like movie mode, where it's still like pretty ripped, but you don't need to see every single ab.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, by the way,
like,
so I use Jason Momoa.
He's gonna get him there.
Yeah, I use Jason Momoa to try to like entice my husband to be like a little more fat. I'm like, don't you want to be like Jason Momoa? He's also giant like that, and he loves Jason Momoa's personality because he's really like easygoing and he's a family man, which is very important to my husband. So I was like, do you want to be like that? But it's impossible. Like we were talking about school before. If he's not interested, he's not interested. It's just not gonna happen. So I think maybe a heart attack at age 40 will be the only thing to convince him to like get in shape.
Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that.
I can give him some reading if you want. Like I can give him like.
Not gonna help. I mean, whatever.
Okay.
His doctor told him like also if he doesn't get his sleep apnea, like if he doesn't start getting enough sleep, he's also gonna have like a heart attack at early. And so he's trying, but like still not.
He's trying, but he's only kind of trying.
I don't know. I mean, I totally get it. Like if you walk around where your whole life where you are in bed for let's say 8 hours, but you only get like 4 hours of sleep. Yeah, of course you're going to be like starved and have no energy and need to eat a lot and whatever. So yeah, I get it.
I'll give you some reading.
Okay.
Give it to you for him.
Yeah. You can sneak it into his TBR pile.
Exactly.
So yeah. Okay. Anyway, now that we have this long digression away from Tora's dad bod, okay.
Okay, so back to Poppy. Oh, but it's so cute, like having her own little fan club. Damien gave me one to wear too, so I'm part of the gang too. She's got her t-shirt.
I love this panel. I love this panel because I feel like there's that little emphasis on now I'm part of the gang too. She's finding her people, like finally. Like she lost a lot of her family. She had a really crappy ex, and now she's finally finding like people that are quality, and she feels like she's part of something else. And I just felt so happy for her in this panel. And it's like the excitement on the face, the little flowers, and the fact that she's wearing it too. It's just the embodiment of like, yes, I'm with these people and I am owning this 100%.
I love a good found family.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so nice. I love that. I didn't think of it so much that way, but I love it. Yeah, I didn't think too deeply into it, but I love that.
And then Tora's like, it was a long effing time ago, and I didn't know that dumbass was gonna pack it with him. And I just love that it's again that their physical comfort level with each other. They've had all of these really intimate moments, but like they're just getting so much more comfortable touching each other casually, and he just like grabs her, and it's that cute like, oh no, don't touch me, okay, believe you, get off me, you're heavy.
Yep.
Oh man, it's so freaking cute.
Yeah.
Exactly that, the physical security that they're starting to get with each other.
Right. Like there was no need for him to tackle her, like technically, but they just gravitate towards each other.
Like he's like one step away from like tickling her. Like it's that kind of like, it's that kind of a grab where you like they tickle you and like get you in the sides and be like, ah.
I think what it is too, like Tora's used to like not picking, but like teasing other people, but he doesn't really know how to be the one that's teased. And like we saw this like in other chapters too, when Poppy starts teasing him and he like pinches her cheeks or does something physical, and it's like she kind of is teasing him a little bit, but he just doesn't quite know how to handle it. So this is how he does it, with like being physical, and it's super cute because like he's just reacting. He doesn't really know how to react, but
yeah, he starts, it's his way of trying to get control of, he's literally wrapping his arms around the situation to try to get control of it again.
yeah, exactly, but like it's all in good fun, like obviously.
Yeah.
And it's so cute that he's able to kind of show like Poppy this vulnerability with him too. Like, I don't know how to handle this. I'm just gonna like do what feels right. And Poppy, like they play off one another so beautifully.
And I think at this point, Damien's wandered off into who knows where looking for food.
Oh,
but like,
that.
but like, I think he knows that like Damien is loyal to him. So like, whatever is going on here, I mean, Damien may say something to the other guys like Brian and Gu, but like, I think he knows that whatever's going on here, like whatever's going on with Poppy, stays with them. It's not going to get reported back out to anybody else. And I think the Thuglets, as much as they're probably now unsure potentially of Tora's sexuality, they're like, you know what? He clearly at least likes Miss Poppy. We ship it regardless of where that boat floats. But like, they're like, we're here, we're on the ship. She's part of us. She's one of us now. She's ours.
I just want to see Brian's reaction.
I kind of want him to be like, I didn't wear my t-shirt.
Oh.
So then, anyway, come here, Bobby. I got something to ask you. She says, Tora was really sweet and offered to cover up his tattoos in case someone spotted us together and got the wrong idea. And you can see him, he's like trying to hold his hand up because obviously he doesn't have any of his stuff with him that he would have used to cover it up. He doesn't have his turtleneck. He doesn't have any of the makeup. And the dirty looks from everyone in town. I'm like, oh, small town people, it's the worst. I grew up in a small town and I feel like I know that feeling.
Yeah, it totally looks like a small town too when you look at the backgrounds like that. I forget it was a fountain or if it was a sign that looked like a very obvious city center.
Yeah. I'm just like, I mean, everyone, but after last night's encounter with Julri, I realized I really don't care what anybody in this town thought about me anymore. I'm so proud of her for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like everyone's just giving the two of them these just like the dirtiest of dirty looks. And I'm like, you're not even trying to hide it, you people.
And then question, actually, is Lily being sneaky again?
That Poppy's mom. Okay, sorry, I just had to say it.
It's a woman, it must be Poppy's mom.
Okay, so is Lily being sneaky again? Because Tora says, anyway, come here, Bobby, I got something to ask you, ... We never hear what the question is.
Oh, I thought it was him saying, should I cover my tattoos up?
Yeah, that's what I assumed it was him asking if she wanted him to cover them up so that she felt more comfortable. Because I mean, let's face it, the two of them are going to stick out like sore thumbs in a town like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, Damien, from the looks of it, has essentially a full bodysuit.
Right.
And I know we've seen that Secret Garden, and I cannot pull it up off the top of my head, but like he's at least got full arm and leg sleeves.
I don't think we've ever seen the Vault Human crest on Damien O'Brien. I don't think they're part of the gang.
I don't think so. I think they're
Isn't that also the special?
They're just Tora's men.
Yeah,
so they don't
they're
even
just
have it
Tora's men.
somewhere else.
Mhm.
Isn't that crest like doesn't that mean he's part of the Shadow Division?
I thought it was based on the height, like because it's
Oh,
on his
location.
neck, that it was like a higher ranking.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. I think because it's what Claude and Shark have it on their neck, or
Yeah.
and that indicates the Baltimore elite.
hmm.
But like they don't even have it like on their chest or an arm or whatever. I mean, Damien's got some pretty intricate tattoos. It could be hiding somewhere, but I think we figured out that they're loyal to Tora, not to the clan.
Yeah. And then I'm forgetting if Gil has it or not.
No.
At least
I
not
don't
that we're
think he
aware
does.
of.
I don't think he does either. Not that we've seen.
Right.
Anyway, we can go down tangents. I love it.
Right. Rabbit holes galore in this one. And more than that, and Poppy says to him, it's okay, Tora, you don't have to cover anything up. And she reaches up and grabs the hand that's covering the crest. And then she gives him a smooch. And I don't want Tora or Damien to feel like they have to be concerned with what these people are thinking about.
Yeah.
The smooch.
Oh,
It's so cute. She's making so much progress, but she just still needs to run away.
I know.
So cute.
But also like he wasn't expecting it. Like he didn't do the kiss. He was like that totally caught him by surprise. That's the simple Toro 404 does not compute.
And then if you zoom in on that next panel, you see Tora like this.
Yeah, he's like, oh. And yeah, she runs away. She's full. I can feel the heat of that blush on her cheeks, and she just runs away. I'll see you guys later.
it's so sweet that she said that. Like it's we know it's for Tora, like one of his biggest insecurities, and she's just giving him that reassurance that no, I love you for who you are, and you don't have to be anything but who you are. It's so beautiful.
There's that song, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. I feel like that's just Poppy, like Tora, and how Tora makes her feel. Just like with the clothing she's been wearing, her comfort level with him, and even her what's the word? Her advancements, like her initiating everything, like over the past literally 24 hours, has been so wonderful just to see her comfort with him.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's especially after the blowout with Julri. It's like he's given her everything that Julri never did. Yeah. He never tells her it's all in your head. It's you. It's he's literally been like, no, you feel what you feel, and of course that's fine. But it's funny because every time I see like any of the characters in any of these webtoons, and they always blush so hard on their cheeks, I'm like, my cheeks get red, but when I get really embarrassed or really like nervous about stuff, my ears my ears are what blush. My ears will go like beet red, like these, like their cheeks do. Like people are like, are you okay? Your ears are like bright red. And like so like that's what I'm thinking of when I can feel that heat. I'm like, I can feel my ears burning for them.
For me, it's my chest. I get this like whole flush and it includes my chest.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah.
a lot.
I'm kind of pale.
Yes. I call my husband Pinky a lot because like these Dutch people, they never get tan, they just get pink. So, yeah, and when I was there in the summer, I was like, oh, no wonder they're all so pale. Like it was freezing. Half the summer I had to wear a jacket. I was like, okay, there's no sun there.
So then she's walking around, and I'm assuming she's probably starting to make her way over to the hospital, and she says, as expected, I was ambushed by a pack of well-meaning neighbors. And I'm putting quotes there because let's face it, they're well-meaning neighbors. Poppy, it's really you. We heard Julri broke up with you, which that alone, I was ready to throw my phone across the room on Friday night. I was like, that he's already making stuff up about this? Oh my God. This happened like last night, honestly.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if like, were they referring to last night or like, did it get out about like a couple weeks ago, you know, when she walked in on him? Like, what did they hear about?
Right. Like, I'm guessing it might have been something a couple weeks ago, but then like, I'm sure he kind of like went all in on whatever rumor he decided on.
Yeah.
You know, because then they dive right in. I'm like, she's standing right in front of you. Why would you talk about this like this to her? Such a pity. His family's one of the richest in Moonbright. He'll be snapped up by another girl in no time. I'm like money's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, excuse me? What? He's the biggest jerk on planet Earth. Who cares how much money he has? Oh my gosh. I get so angry.
And I'm like, and that's his parents' money. That's not his money. They could figure out how big of a douche he is and be like, I'm sorry. No, thank you.
Oh, it's so freaking aggravating. Oh my gosh. No wonder if the people in Moonbright are like that, like Poppy's way better off in Erin City.
Well, and just the way as we start to zoom in on these two ladies, like you can tell, I don't want to stereotype, but they have that like very like middle-aged white woman at like apparel on, like the leggings and the very like young at heart shirt. And I'm just like, oh my God, you women are probably in your mid 40s at the youngest. Like, no, grow up. Oh my God, why are you gossiping like children?
I kind of took it as them like not caring what they look like anymore because they're so consumed with like chores and stuff that they just kind of, I don't want to say let themselves go, but like, you know, because what adult woman would wear a shirt that says Candy Girl?
Right?
Please. Did you not do laundry? Oh, apparently, maybe she didn't because they talked about it later on.
Actually, I think there's truth to what you're saying because based on what they say later, I feel like anyone who talks like that, who gossips like that, is because they are unhappy and they have a void in their life. Like if they were fulfilled, if they had
projecting
or fulfillment in something, if they had a good love life, like they wouldn't be gossiping like this. I think people do that because they are missing something in their own life and they need to get drama from other people's lives. So, and I really like based on what happens next, I think that really kind of confirms that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then again, like they just continue, like Poppy's not like literally standing in front of them. What happened? They were together for so long. He left Poppy for that foxy little intern from their factory. Didn't you know?
So at least that part, like they got true. Like it wasn't like Poppy. They're saying that he left her. Like,
yeah, it's like, and he kind of did. He just, I think, was hoping he could have his cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember which one of this is, but Poppy, dear, don't mind me being blunt, but this is exactly why a woman should never deprive her man of what he desires, whether it's in the kitchen or the bedroom. And I was like, ma'am, first of all, how dare you? Second of all, how absolutely dare you?
Oh my God. And honestly, well, I'll let you get to Poppy's part too, because I love her response.
Right. I'm like, again, I was like ready to throw my phone across the room with this because like what he wants, what about what she wants? She's in this relationship too. Like her opinion and feelings and emotions are just as important as any guy. Like, hello, feminism 101.
So aggravating. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to remember if I know people who think like this. I don't know, because I did grow up in a very conservative, like traditional society, but we also didn't talk about sex. So they might have opinions like this, but I wouldn't have heard it. I don't know.
I mean, my mother-in-law did definitely tell my husband when we were still dating, and we slept together before we got married, and she was very much like, I overheard her telling my husband, you're disrespecting her, you're disrespecting her mother, like this. I'm like, what does my mother have to do with any of this?
I just thought of, like, you know how the Mulan, the little dragon goes, dishonor on you, dishonor on you.
Yeah. I feel like it is such a generational thing though, like in a certain respect, maybe it was true like 20, 30 years ago, because it feels dated, like it feels dated.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense that it's coming from someone that's a little bit older from a different generation than Poppy. It's just, I don't know. It makes me feel two things. It makes me feel sad that that's how things used to be. And then it kind of like, exactly like Poppy's response, you know, it's like, you don't even engage, like you're not winning this conversation, like you just move on.
Which I, like you were saying, her response is that like kill him with kindness, but in like this very backhanded kind of way. That's great to know, Mrs. Nelson. And in that case, don't let me hold you up. Better hurry home before Mr. Nelson leaves for a foxy little thing because you've kept him waiting all day. Best Tora glare imitation.
Oh boy.
Oh, I was just like, yes, Poppy, what a queen.
Well, okay, actually. Okay. I appreciate that she has best Tora imitation glare. She don't need no man to teach you how to glare though. We knew she could glare when they were in the restaurant together. So like, I love the energy. It was just like, you don't need to have, sorry, this is like a small criticism to Lily. I hate criticizing her. Just a small one. Like the whole point of this scene is that you don't need a man to hold, like to measure your worth next to. So I was a little disappointed when she had best Tora imitation glare, because it's like she doesn't need it. She already has it. I appreciate it, but that's my small critique. Minor critique.
I think also for me, it showed that she got confidence from being with Tora, that where maybe a couple of weeks ago, she wouldn't have had that confidence. Like, yeah, she did give Tora that glare, when she said she learned from her dad, you know, stare people in the eye. But I also feel like her being with Tora gave her more confidence to face like her past and to be like, oh, screw them, I don't need them because I have someone who values me and appreciates me.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, like she had that like really intense glare when she was in that meeting with Mr. Lamb at the restaurant, and she was, and everyone was like, because I remember listening to I like binged all of the previous episodes for this podcast so I could be like caught up, and I just remember that one. Everyone was like, "Whoa,
yeah,
Poppy, like, whoa."
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just having, maybe it could even be just like having the t-shirt on and like just like she's channeling, and like you said, you know, she doesn't necessarily need to channel her inner Tora, but I think knowing his confidence, it gives her her own level of confidence that she might not have been able to stand up to somebody in her hometown like this before, knowing that he was there, you know, he would back her even if he was there with her. But these women have the exact right response that we all wanted them to have.
By the way, like I just noticed this lady, like speaking of being unkempt, right? This lady appears to have mascara running down from her eyes. So maybe you're right. Maybe, I mean, also based on what they say, maybe they just like are in a point in their lives where they're not really taking good care of themselves. And that comes from also depression, by the way, like when you don't take good care of yourself. So
I didn't think that was mascara running down. I thought that was like the
oh, okay.
oh my god, like that, not
Oh.
quite the blush, but like the aghast.
Fast. Oh, jeez.
And then Mrs. Nelson, he wouldn't dare. And the other, well, she's got a point, Rhonda. After all the cooking and cleaning I've done for him, and I'm so sick of the never-ending pile of filthy laundry and those effing beer bottles and socks. And Poppy just was literally just, she's going off and she's just walking away, and like you can see her with the little marks, and she's swinging her bag back and forth. Like she's just like, my work here is done. No wonder Granny chooses to stay as far away from this town as she can. Ethel, I think I want a divorce. There, dear. It's been a long time coming.
So I love that. I feel like I always like to have sympathy for every character, right? To think that there's a reason that people are the way they are. And yeah, it looks like these women, at least the non-Ethel one, the blonde one, is like, has a pretty miserable life. And like when you have a bad life at home, sometimes you want to pretend and ignore and like you act out by putting other people down and like putting other people's love lives down. And you're like, well, if I'm going to be miserable, I want everyone else to be miserable too. Because otherwise it's too disappointing when you see other people who are happy. You're like, oh my God, I have to face the fact that my love life is like in the drain. So I think that really gives us a good understanding of why she behaved the way she did. And like gives us a more sympathetic look of her.
And
Her
like
people, her people.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'm glad she's got a good friend though that's like, there. I'm glad you came to the realization, and I will be there for you to help support you through this.
What would be so cool if they come up again like in like 30 episodes or something, and she's like got a divorce, she's got a nice boyfriend, they're like they both are fulfilled with whatever, they found like a hobby, they're working out, and like
I love
like,
it.
We love you, you go girl, like
they run into in Erin City.
right.
Oh, man. But then I just want to appreciate Poppy's face and the little clenched fist. Because
oh, yeah, she's got the angry vein up here and the clenched fist.
Yeah, I don't know. She's so used to kind of like hiding things inside and like internalizing, and she was finally able to kind of like show some of her true colors instead of kind of burying them deep. And I love the fact that we see her angry.
Like, don't bottle it up, let it out.
Let it out.
Yep.
All right, so I'll pick up from here then. So it took me a day to sort out Granny's insurance, hospital bills, and caregiving help. Thankfully, I was able to stay on at Moonbright after all. I won't have to stay on at Moonbright after all. Belle's returning tomorrow, and Ned and June have agreed to help out until Gran's wrist recovers.
You know, I was a little confused by Belle, but then I was like, she keeps calling them like Danny, Danae, Mirabelle, Belle. Like she have like a couple variations.
Her cousin / aunt.
Her cousin was removed, like a million or something.
I remember it was kind of weird. I think it's aunt, like technically aunt, but they're so close in age.
I think that Lily said they were aunts, but then she clarified that they were actually like the first cousin once removed, but she just didn't know how to call it, so she called them aunts. But I think
at a certain point, I just know I have a big family. I don't know how everyone's related.
Right? My mom has 51st cousins on one side of her family.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so we just see Poppy doing a bunch of chores. Granny was still feeling guilty and apologized again for tricking me back to Moonbright. For all her willful, obstinate ways, Granny has always been very honest about her faults and flaws. And I really appreciate that about her. We see this really cute scene with them just bonding.
I'm glad that they're like on better terms. They've had the night to cool off, and I know Poppy like apologized in the moment, but like they've both had a chance to like realize, cool down, come back, really have like heartfelt talk and apologies about that, and then kind of that way neither one is leaving with the other being like upset at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I like how, because some of us were like a little bit concerned that Granny was like manipulative, and like we thought that was like not so great. But I love how Poppy kind of solved that by saying, you know, she has her flaws, but she admits to it and she can apologize, which that's all we can ask for with human beings, pretty much, right? You know, we try to do better, and we all do have flaws.
Mm-hmm. And then she said there was something important she had to tell me. And then we see Poppy just kind of stare at her like, really? Now? You want to talk about this now? I am hungry, sweaty, disheveled. I just did a bunch of chores.
Her stomach is just grumbling
and we can
there.
see like, her visibly like, shaking. Yeah. So we know that she is just wrung out at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then we hear her say, but I am mentally and physically wiped, so it'll have to wait. And then it goes into cute little scene.
Disappointed. Sorry.
I know, I was like, no, Poppy, like go get a snack from the vending machine. You have to know what this is.
It's for sure gonna be this massive plot point, and then like something's gonna happen, and we'll be like, Granny's like, oops, I should have told you.
I meant to tell you when you came home.
I have like small theory. Okay, small theory. And then I'll get into that really cute little picture. So small town, right? I'm sure there's gonna be more than one person that both saw Tora and Pinky, since they like stick out like sore thumbs. They're wearing matching outfits. I mean, it's not gonna be hard to put two and two together. And that also saw Poppy give Tora a kiss. So my theory is that eventually Granny is gonna hear about it, and she has this really important thing to tell Poppy, but then I think she'll also have something to say specifically about the bulk human organization and why or why not it might be a good idea for her to continue a relationship with the mafia, because like she might be a little bit more at risk since she herself is in a mafia as well, and it could be just like a conflict of interest all around. Even though Tora doesn't necessarily know fully what he's getting into on Poppy's side. So I think it's going to be more of like a reality check that Granny is going to tell Poppy like, hey, just be aware of these circumstances type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because they know we haven't like fully established like what Poppy meant by the I'm in the mafia too. Like, is she considering her relationship with Quincy and Tora? Did she figure something out from her childhood and, you know, kind of put some pieces together, but maybe doesn't know the whole story? And I'm like, I'm kind of hoping that it's that Granny will you know, Poppy put some things together that Granny might not have realized she realized, but that Granny's going to be able to give her a bit more context to what she figured out. Like, you may have realized that, yes, we had clan attachments, but there's even more to it than you could have even put together with the context clues you had.
Honestly, what I would absolutely adore is if, okay, so you guys know Avatar, right? Avatar the Last Airbender, and like White Lotus, and how like all of the older, basically like what I'm getting to is all of the older generation, like Granny's generation has like with Alice and Frank and I think there's someone else, Frank's wife as well. I just want them to have like this little clan that is just kind of there, because like Alice is a badass, let's be real. Granny's a badass. I would love for it to somehow be connected. That might be asking for a lot, it might be pandering at this point, but no, like I am convinced Granny knows more. She is going to be pivotal to the plot. I think she's in the, like was or is a mafia boss, and I think that'd be really cool if like all the seniors were like in the inn somehow.
Yeah, this little old people network.
yeah, literally like the White Lotus and Avatar.
I love that.
Crack theory. right. Yeah, so then we hear saying that she's wiped out. Oh, hi. All right. So then we see, that was just my cat being a cat.
I've got one right here that's waiting in the wings.
Yeah. It's like, I want you to pet me, but not too much, not there. I'm gonna bite you otherwise. Anyway, okay, so we have this really cute scene. It's like evening, and we see this really cute little slice of life where Damon and Tora are still waiting for Poppy. And if you zoom in really, really close, it looks like Damon is playing on his phone. And
Isn't that? I thought it was cards. No?
oh, sorry, yeah, they're playing cards.
I think we see in the next one, it's
right.
cards, yeah.
But then I thought it was really cute that you see Tora's face pointed in the direction of the kid. And it's like you hear the mother saying, careful. And like Tora's like watching, like, do I have to intervene? Do I have to help? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But
I saw somebody in the Patreon comments was like, oh, I bet they like taught this kid like some skateboard tricks while they were waiting. I'm like, oh my God, I love that. That's such a cute little theory.
But also I think that maybe for Tora, like this, he's never had a parent telling him to be careful and like being concerned about his safety. So that's probably like totally new territory for him where he's like, wow, like there can be parents who care about their kids and love their kids, like, and take care of them.
Right.
And just another element of that too, remember when they go into the grocery store, there's the father telling the kid like, oh, back away from Tora. It's almost like Tora is watching like nature and got close enough that he could finally see without someone telling him or without people being like skittish and running away. So it's like one of the first times where he feels like he's close enough to watch something that's super intimate, like that he just hasn't been a part of before, because either his career doesn't let him do that, and usually people are too scared to get close to him.
It's that like peek into this is what your life could be if you weren't tied to the clan. You could be sitting in a cafe with your family telling your kid to be careful and not fall off their skateboard.
Yeah.
He's just like, is this what real life is like?
Yeah, exactly.
The future with Poppy.
We can hope.
Not in Moonbright though, probably not in Moonbright.
No.
And then we see Poppy kind of like approaching the cafe and trudge. We see her legs doing the little wobbly thing because she's just so tired and done with the day.
And if you zoom in, she's got like the hairs all sticking out. She's got like the most blank of faces. Like the clothes looked big on her to begin with at the beginning of the episode. They just look like they're positively swimming on her now.
Yeah, I was wondering, like those shorts, right? She usually has like more like fitted shorts, right? We've seen her in like that short skirt before. And yeah, I was wondering if it seemed a bit big on her. But,
well, remember when they got to her house, she didn't have any clothes. Like the only thing she was comfortable in was that tank top. So I assume too, it's the same thing with the other shirts, same thing with the pants. And it's kind of cute that they're all matching too.
yes, it is very cute.
And then Damon is like, yo, Miss Poppy, we saved you some food. And then we see Tora and Damon playing cards, being super casual. And it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like how Tora was able to see a slice of life, and then kind of parallel with Poppy, we see her just being super appreciative that like people care about her and like waited for her. So we see her, they're still here.
I know, she's got tears in her eyes. She is so overwhelmed. I definitely did zoom in on the two of them at the cafe table though, because I was like, I needed to know what the extent of Damien's tattoos were. And yeah, that was where I was like, he's got the full leg sleeves and the arm sleeves.
Yeah.
I know there's also the rampant speculation of what Tora's going to put on his other leg that's not tattooed.
Poppy.
Saving the space without knowing it.
Exactly.
And then we go into, so here I am now, a prim and proper book editor traveling on Great Narian Highway in a car with two scary looking mafia covered from head to toe in tattoos. But like, she says that almost sarcastically, like, look at my life now. Like, I'm with these people and I feel comfortable. And like, more than that, these are like my people. Like, I am going to fully embrace these people as my own. And she did that with the t-shirt. And like, just, yeah, I love it. And then I I love Damon just being so freaking cute, talking with Erdine on the phone.
No, I was surprised because I was wondering. I think we were speculating, like, is it going to be a one night stand with Erdine, or is it going to develop into something more? So here we learn they're talking.
Yeah, exactly.
I always had the sense that Erdine might have seen it as a one night stand, but I think he would have been like, she picked me and she likes me and I like her.
Yeah,
and she's with Miss Poppy, so it must be okay if I'm with her too, right, big bro? Right? Like,
yeah,
He seems
little
to get
brother
very
energy.
attached to people very fast.
Yeah,
it's that I can have nice things.
it's like the little puppy dog following someone around. I think Erdine will catch on eventually, and I don't know. I think she'll turn around and kind of take him in as her own. Maybe. I don't know.
I think she'll enjoy somebody who's willing to like just dote on her and just worship her for the goddess that she is.
Yeah, that's possible. I had my doubts originally because I felt like she was so strong and she would overpower him. But I gotta admit, like, sometimes that's the dynamic people like in the relationship.
Yeah.
Men like powerful women and women like meek, cute little follower men.
Yeah. No, I feel like it suits Damon really well too, because Tora is like his big brother, and it kind of, I think it just, I like that trope too, you know, just like the powerful woman that just kind of tells the partner, okay, this is what we're gonna do. I'll take you through. Yeah.
I talk about this a lot. I feel like in many ways my husband and I have that dynamic, and he always wanted strong women, and you know, I could never tolerate a man who told me what to do because my father never told me what to do, never criticized me. So just both like gravitated towards that.
There you go.
I very much also embody that. I am very much, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it, this is when we're doing it, let's go.
Yep, can relate. Fiance is like a full year younger than me too, so it just happens naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, Poppy is kind of like super drowsy, but she's also kind of listening in. They've been talking since we got on the car, though I don't think he's told her about his Moonbright trip. Tora's orders. And then I might have to ask him about what's okay and what isn't for me to talk about to talk to the rest about. And then I thought this was super cute too, where Tora kind of is keeping tabs on her as well and kind of sees that she's starting to nod off. And then we see that he thinks, oh, Tora's a decent driver when he wants to be. And I thought that was super cute because like Tora totally saw that she was falling asleep. He probably saw Damon was falling asleep too. And he was like, let me just keep this smooth and steady so I don't wake him up. So it's definitely for their benefit.
I think if it had been like just Tora and Damien in the car though, like he wouldn't have cared. Totally like got like there would have been several like sharp turns and heads smacking into the window, but because it was Poppy in the backseat passed out, nope, got to make sure that she stays safe and is okay. And
Exactly. No sharp turns, no abrupt lane changing, just a calm, steady ride back home. And I thought that was kind of poignant too, that like Naren City and this apartment is our home now, not Moonbright.
Yeah, this is sweet.
And again, she's coming home and they're pulling in and there's you and there's her whole most of her little found family. There's her boys.
I have the same thought too, like all her 3 boys are right there. What I
Like,
did-
nasty jewelry.
I was kind of hoping we'd get a Tora carrying her up to her apartment still asleep.
That would be so cute.
that would be super
We'll have to
cute.
imagine it.
And like it's in my dreams.
I'm convinced Lily's gonna give us a couple of flashbacks.
Flashback.
I think she'll give us a couple.
I need like super, like, you know, when you're like super sleepy and you just like start talking and you're not sure what you're saying,
Yeah.
like words are just coming out of your mouth. I really need like the dialogue of like, no, we're home. I'm bringing you up to your apartment. And she's just like, I don't want to eat eggplants.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of that last couple of days because I was napping a lot and like, yeah, complete nonsense. It made complete sense to me in my head, but I don't think anyone else understood.
Last time I did that, I started talking about hypertension.
Med student life.
I've been having some really strange dreams too.
Oh, my
Like,
husband
right
comes
now,
to bed.
I literally am just like deliberate, like I'm literally just doing OB-GYN and then sleeping and then like I mean it, like I'm working 14, 15-hour days. So I work, I sleep, but then when I sleep, it's like I dream about that I'm back at OB because it's like all I see.
Oh.
My husband comes to bed way later than I do. Like, so I go to bed at like 11ish and he comes to bed at like 2 or 3 in the morning. And there are some nights if he catches me in like the right point of my sleep cycle, he'll be like, yeah, we were talking for like a half an hour and all of a sudden you just like roll over and you're like, when did you get here? And just like, I'll have whole conversations with him and then be like, and then I'll roll over, I'll wake up and be like, oh, when did you come to bed? I don't remember hearing you come in. And he's like, we chatted for 25 minutes.
Wow. That was so
you not.
like coherently?
Sometimes coherently, sometimes not at all. I did at one point think I was telling him, this was when we were dating back at our apartment. I was like, I thought I was telling him I loved him. And apparently, I think I was trying to tell him like he was my best cuddle buddy. And it came out as, you're my best asbestos cow buddy.
Nice. No, but I kid you not, Harry, my fiance, says the same exact thing about me. We'll have like entire conversations and I just won't remember. It's super cute.
So funny.
Anyway, so then they're pulling up into her apartment complex and she starts saying, and whatever the case, I'm just glad they're here to take charge for a change. And it's like, you see little peek at Damien falling, like sleeping in the front and then her sleeping in the back. And I love the little chibi faces so much. I think they did a wonderful job with the chibi faces.
Yes.
And I think Tora's dark circles are back. If you zoom in on when they first pull in, you see Damien in the front seat. I'm pretty sure you can see Tora's dark circles and then Poppy in the back seat, just out cold.
I love the honesty about how we don't necessarily look our best when we're sleeping. And my biggest pet peeve is in movies when people wake up in the morning after a full night and their hair is gorgeous and their makeup is on and it's not smudged and like, oh my gosh, I'm like, oh.
No one ever
like that when I wake up. I have to go when people like wake up, sorry to say this, and have like morning sex. I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom, I have to brush my teeth. I cannot do anything in the morning. Like I look awful and I feel awful. Like I have to go to the bathroom at least, you know. So
I don't really get it either. It's not like I wake up and the first thing I want to do is sex. It's like I want to wake up.
See, I'm a wicked morning person, so I much prefer morning sex to like, because again, like my husband and I don't go to bed at the same time, so he'll come up and be like, and I'll be like, I'm in the middle of my sleep cycle. You can stop now. I want to go back to bed. But like, but there's definitely like, wait, I have to go pee. Hold that thought. Be right back. But it made me think, but when you just said that, like nobody looks their best in the morning. Have either of you seen The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon?
Oh, I've been meaning to. I haven't though.
It's an absolute riot. She's so hysterical. And she literally she sets like, she and her husband, they go to bed and then she waits for him to fall asleep. And then she gets up and does like her whole nighttime routine, takes off her makeup, pulls her hair up and all this other stuff. And then she like cracks the curtain in her apartment so that it'll wake her up before he wakes up with the sun, then gets up, does her hair, her makeup, and then like gets back, like has it down to like the minute where she'll be back in bed. His alarm goes off and he's just like, oh, good morning, honey. And she's like, is it morning already? Every morning. I'm like, how? Oh my God, I don't have that much dedication. You get what you get in the morning.
That was my thinking too. That's too much effort.
But it's, I mean, it's the 1950s. So it was like, it's that whole era of like, women are always beautiful and put together and everything. And just like the extent that she would go to, I don't think her husband had ever seen her without like a full face.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't think I wore makeup at all when I met my husband. I was like at a very simple stage of my life back then. I was not wearing makeup ever. So even now I only wear like eyeliner and mascara. That's it. Every 2 days.
Yeah. If I'm working more than 12 hours, you're not getting makeup on my face.
Yeah.
Nope.
I only wear it for special occasions. So like if I'm going to a wedding or something like that, like I'm lucky if I put product in my hair when I get out of the shower.
Yeah, because like if you think about it too, I'm not like I don't know if you guys are working at home or not, but like we have masks, we have goggles, our hair's back. Like who's gonna see it? Like who's gonna take note? The only time you put makeup on is when I'm in clinic and like seeing patients and they want you to wear like business casual. I'm like, fine. You're not getting this if I'm in scrubs. Right. I'm in scrubs. I'm gonna own this.
Yep. At the studio for massage, yeah, we're wearing masks. I've got aprons on. Like I'm in comfortable clothing because I'm moving around constantly. But yeah, my hair's up.
Ain't got time for that.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, so then we see her passed out in the back seat, and then her saying, because I'm completely spent after these last 2 days.
This is such a gorgeous.
And then we transition to the morning. And
I just want to point out, like the view, isn't it gorgeous? Like the Erin city and the river and the twinkling lights.
Her apartment view is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. So beautiful. The mountains in the background, gorgeous.
I think she did a really good job too, because it almost looks like you're there. Like when, yeah, it looks like it, because it doesn't look like a picture, because pictures wouldn't pick up on the lights, but it feels like you totally can visualize a scene like this with all the little twinkling lights. And then I just want to note one thing in the next panel that I thought was very out of character, that I thought might represent growth. If you zoom in on the little red car, Tora parked in the lines.
He parked like a real person.
He parked like a real person.
Like an adult.
Yeah.
Such a good point. Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah, that view from her apartment though at night. I remember in college I went to go visit a friend out in San Francisco, and we went to one of her other friends' houses, or like he was house sitting for somebody, and it was up in the hills in San Francisco. And just like that's what it felt like looking down all those big windy roads in the hills with just the bay out in the background. And you're like, that's when you said that, and like this, it looks like a picture. I'm like, that's what I was immediately like, oh my God, I've seen a moment like this where you just see the glittering lights of the city spread out before you, and just like those winding roads and the water and everything. Like, oh, I miss that.
So peaceful.
Yeah, so now we're back in the morning. We're outside the we see the patio, like that's the parking lot for her work, and like we see the little line to the patio cafe there, and we see someone get out of the red car. Obviously it's Quincy, because who else would wear such shoes and pants? I love his fashion. Oh my gosh, so good. And slams the door. I don't know how he just looks handsomer and handsomer every time. So beautiful.
I feel like this is like one of the most dressed down he's been too. Like he's in a white t-shirt, and yeah, it's like plaid pants, but like
it looks so
it's a
good.
plain white t-shirt, which seems so subdued for Quincy.
Yeah.
I think you mean so sexy. I think this is
Wait,
I mean, he always looks good, but
there's that one little panel of his smolder. I'll tell you where it is.
Okay. But speaking of dad bods, it's probably just the position of the teacher, but it does look like he has a little belly, which I did like, because I just every time I see him, like, I just want to like pat it, I do with my husband all the time. So he's so pretty. I know I have to stop like getting so excited about a 2D man, but he's such a gorgeous person.
If we all didn't get so excited about these 2D men, we wouldn't be here.
You brought us together with these podcasts and gushing over them.
Yep. And as I said before, blondes are my weakness. So Quincy asks Tora gets out of the car, and he's like, "Why are you getting off too? Weren't you staying away from the office so that Gil won't be put on high alert?" And Tora is taking out a cigarette, right? So he's a little nervous, and we'll see why later. He says he's at a day-long seminar. Pinky and Brian are keeping tabs. I'll leave before he gets back. So he's definitely been, while he's talking. Yes.
He's a man with a plan.
Yep. And Quincy like has a smirk on his face, and he's like,
"Yep, that's the one."
Yeah. Look at homeboy and his tats and clan insignia all exposed. All he has to do is ditch his civilian camouflage, and he's lighting up. And he literally oozes with that deliciously dark mafia energy. And then he's like is in love with what he made. And he's like, "Oh, nice phrase. Better jot it down."
Quincy.
But like, just, I hate smoking. It's truly disgusting. I hate the smell of it. It's just awful. But like, damn if he doesn't look sexy there.
He does. He really does.
Yeah.
Black shirt, those giant forearms.
Oh.
We can think of better things that he can do with his hands.
Exactly.
Many things.
Quincy's right.
Oh, and he's like walking up toward the office. He's like, "Hey, wait up. So you're not even trying to hide the fact that you're here for no reason other than to see Miss Editor, huh? Like, thank you, Quincy. We love you for being nosy and saying what's the truth."
Yep.
Like, what's it to you? I do your thing. You do your thing. I do mine. Remember what we agreed on? Of course, I know that. This whole bodyguard thing's always been a front for the two of us, after all. Okay, and they have some very interesting conversation. And I know it's the jobs you've completed for my old man that's earned you this much leverage, which was partially why he agreed to assign you the role as my bodyguard. So it's not like I can take full credit for getting you out of clan duties these past few years, which I think some people were not sure if, like, getting out of clan duty, staying low was a reference to the past or the future, which was from a few conversations ago. Sorry, the conversation that he had with Quincy in Poppy's room. So it seems like, yeah, he's been out of it the last couple of years.
Which makes me think, I'm wondering when was he, like, when did he get arrested? Like, when was that that moment? Like, when did, because we assume that it was the Goliath kind of ratted him out and got him arrested with that raid that we saw in that one flashback. It's like, when? So now I'm like, was that like 2 or 3 years ago now? And he's just kind of been on parole?
It was Vincent's, I want to say 50th birthday was when he got arrested.
Wait, was it? Vincent's 50th birthday was last year. What makes you say that it was his birthday he got arrested at? Because I always thought that
it was at that party. And then right after that, I have this whole timeline. I would have to refer back to the notes. But yeah, no, it was at the party that then turned chaotic, and then people got arrested after that. And I believe that was when Goliath had ratted out Tora, and it was also around the time when Goliath started going on the run. So if I had to pinpoint it, I would actually say it's in the pretty recent past.
Okay.
Let me actually see if I can pull up those notes for you, because I have the references for the chapters too.
Okay. Yeah, like if it was a couple years ago and then he's been on parole, and that would be why he'd had to lay low and like kind of steer clear of clan affiliations. But
I think that's more in line with when he started getting I don't want to say getting more of a conscience, but more starting to manipulate what he does for Vincent to be more along the lines of what he feels as his internal moral compass. And then he started to speak with Quincy about just disagreed with vehemently, so he wouldn't need to be part of it again.
Okay.
That's kind of like the way I read it. Like, hey, we have this agreement that I'm not going to get into some of this more shady business if I do this for you. And then they're both kind of working together so Quincy can write his books and Tora can kind of, again, just follow his internal compass.
We also still don't know what D-Day actually is about. And that could, I think, also be part of whatever this agreement is that the two of them, they've got an agreement for something, whatever D-Day may be. I think it's some way to kind of bring the clan down from the inside out.
I think
Quincy
so too.
wants nothing to do with clan life. Tora wants to get
Yeah.
out. The only way to do that would be to take it down from
The inside.
to get the entire elite taken out in one fell swoop.
Mhm.
Vincent, Claude, Shark, Shingma, all of them.
And I think right now they're just kind of laying low until they find like the right time to strike. So to
Yeah.
speak.
They've got all those T's have to be crossed, I's have to be dotted. Every duck needs to be in its row.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But that's also why we're kind of confident in saying that like people like you, Pinky, and Brian are more in league with Tora and kind of like his people than they are with the Balt human crew.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So I just looked
got
up, I just looked up the outfit that Tora was wearing when he got arrested. It's in episode 2. He's wearing like a white shirt and black pants. And at the party, he's wearing like the Superman jacket, which was how Lane recognized it. But I also think that the party was like a year ago, and the arrest seemed to have been a couple of years ago. Well, we don't know exactly when it was, but I guess based on this, it seems like it was a couple of years ago. But I really don't think it was on the same night that he got arrested.
So I actually just found my notes. I'm gonna just I'll send them to you guys here. And then day 1. So it's just like part of it. So then it's the top part first, and then I'll read some of it for everyone else. So Vincent turns 50, and we know at some point during that night, Tora and Candy meet up. Then Yadori and Tora are also introduced to each other because we know that Yadori remembers Tora, even though Tora doesn't remember him. There's some kind of mayhem that happens. The police show up. And then this is kind of going back to the first initial chapters where we see Goliath betraying Tora to probably save himself, since the police probably caught Goliath when he was leaking first. And then he started working with the police to start frying bigger fish so Goliath can get let out on an easier charge. So then Tora gets arrested at that point. Then we also know that Officer Lane is connected with Tora. It's likely that they were introduced that night as well when he got arrested, but likely because they didn't have enough proof, he was let go. And then again, this is all based on chronology, not necessarily chapters. We go into chapter 1 where Goliath and the notebook go missing. And then Poppy and Tora end up meeting with the whole bike accident thing.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, I just think we don't know when the arrest was. I don't think it's likely that it was by the party because it feels to me like Lane knew him for longer. I don't know. Well, just I don't know. We don't know for sure. We really don't. But I mean, I just get the impression that he was arrested before the party and that he had let go. And if he was lying low for 2-3 years, it would make sense that it was after he got arrested because we always have this suspicion maybe he has this deal with Lane to try to take down the clan from the inside or something. But yeah, I mean, it's all speculation.
We'll find out eventually.
Oh yeah.
So he continues, and yeah, while it has allowed you to take a breather from clan duties, before you go nuts, I guess we could say it's also thanks to you that there's no Baltimore lackey breathing down my neck and reporting my every move to the clan. And I am grateful for that. So poor Quincy, I mean, we know that like, I guess without Tora, he doesn't have freedom of movement either. he only has it because Tora is his bodyguard, but you know, otherwise he would be like watched night and day, which is sucky.
It's somebody on the podcast before has called it like that's his gilded cage. Like he's, you know, he's free to do whatever he wants, except he's really not. He's really stuck within the confines of being the prodigal son. Like he's from what I understand, I mean, from what we've been able to infer, Quincy's it. There's no other siblings.
Yeah.
It all falls to him.
Unless
Unless-
Maybe.
Bobby had sister.
That'd be a great twist.
We need those mom details.
Dad, granny, the floor, the grandpa, I don't know, anybody.
Someone.
And I know you hate talking about clan business, and I do too, which, yeah, not surprised. But what I'm trying to say is, don't worry, I'll never interfere with your personal life, not as your clan superior anyway, which is like so insulting. Ugh. Like they're the same age. I mean, well, actually not the same age, he's younger, but it's like he's his clan superior. And if it rubbed you the wrong way, I'm sorry, just forget about what I said, okay? Which is nice. You know, I like when people apologize, right? Because it was surprising. A lot of people were surprised that like Quincy went from being this big romantic to being like, hey, oh my gosh, are you sure about this, Tora? And so it's kind of nice that he's apologizing.
I mean, I think he kind of said to him on the phone, like, I thought you were in lust with her. I didn't realize you had developed real emotions here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would never have pushed you so hard. So my bad. I'll take that one.
You're like, and just do whatever the hell you want, bro. Even if it's getting into like the very first committed relationship your new mafia ass ever had. Fun of him. Oh, he's so cute. Tora's like, his eyes are like rolling, and he's completely covers his face with smoke. I think he's like very frustrated with Quincy, and he doesn't want to talk. He's not responding, right? Like he's not sharing his feelings. He's just letting Quincy talk, rattle on. He's like, and look, with our arrangement, at least I get to write dirty novels a day, and you get to be a bum. I mean, a lovesick fool. So how can I complain?
It's so funny seeing Tora just being so over all these children. They're like, I feel like Poppy really is just like matched with him, whereas with everyone else, he's kind of like, okay, I'm tolerating you. I will protect you. I'm not going to engage though.
Well, it also seems like he's deep in thought based on what he, says next. Now we get his thoughts. He's thinking to himself, it was 3 days ago on Tuesday night when I dropped her off at her apartment. We have a flashback. All I've done since then was bum around. Okay. as Quincy says, stalk Gil, and we see all the guys. We see Pinky, Tora, Brian, and Gil. Gil, whose hair is super orange now, by the way.
Right. I was like, was that? Yeah. I had to do a double take. I was like, was that Gil?
He got some new coloring. And that beard now reminds me of I think Shaggy from Scooby-Doo has that little beard.
Yeah.
And check my phone, and we see Tora lying on a couch, looking all muscular and anxiously looking at his phone. Stalk Gil again, and there they are again, and they're wearing different outfits and still at the same gameplays. And check my phone again, and Tora's working out, one arm push-ups, checking his phone. And again, and he's holding his phone, and there's Bobby, and it just says, it's the last message from Monday. Hey, Tora, I'll be out of town today. And so he's one of those lovesick puppies checking his phone. Why isn't she talking to me? And it says last seen 16 minutes ago to add insult to injury. She's on her phone and not texting him.
But that's the text from Monday. I would think that the text that she sent him when her phone was dying on the train and she had no signal, did they just never send?
Just never send.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm like, because he still hasn't even gotten those, and I'm like, that would tell him that she wanted him to follow her out there.
That's true. Poor guy. He doesn't know.
I thought it was super funny too. Again, this is just like Damon being Damon. If you go through the two scenes when the boys are together, everyone else has their posture change except for Damon.
Right.
He's just like such a nut. He's such a nut.
I love him so much.
I love it so much.
And a couple of people also pointed out in the Patreon comments that like, you know, with looking at the phone and she still hadn't texted him at all. And it's like, Tora, phones work two ways. You could text her too.
But I think that there's still a part of him that's not confident enough that she wants him to be, even though she's giving him a lot of signs, right? Showing that she loves him and is interested in him. But I think he's like too scared to take initiative like that. Although
I think Patty said in her comment, they're both playing a game of emotional chicken right now.
Oh yeah. I think
Like neither of them wants to be the one that admits that neither of them wants to ask, what are we? What is this? What is us?
we are. Yeah.
So the two of them are just like, well, I'll wait until he says something. I'll wait until she says something. And they're both just like, just not talking to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Texting too can be really hard, especially when you have two introverts, because you just don't know what to text or what to type. And it's like you said, like they don't really have a definition on the relationship other than they know that they care about one another. So I think they're just both being buttheads.
He was planning on having that talk with her and he didn't. And I'm still waiting for that talk which would be great for both of them. Go ahead.
My thought too, because again, I don't know if Lily's being sneaky or not. It could have been that she fit in the conversation with Granny and Poppy within these 3 days. So like it could be that there is like something holding Poppy up. We just don't know.
Yeah, okay, because I was curious about her reaction. So let's get to that. That's a really good point. So, and by the way, the fact that you said that over text and like the introverts, maybe that's why he's choosing to come into the office, because he wants to have like a face-to-face read. So he tells Quince, I'll drive you to the office tomorrow. And now they're coming in. You know, we have Goldfish Publishing. Good afternoon, ladies. I just hear
How's everyone doing?
Oh, he's so cute.
Right? I could hear it.
Love him so much.
And then Tora's and there's in the background in the shadows just looming. You can see like the peony and that's it.
Oh my god.
And Erdine is like, hey Quince, look what I bought. And Quincy, of course, he's like, is that the new Urban Delay bronzer?
Yes.
You know, we were like, oh, we were making you guys like, I know exactly what the new bronzer is.
He looks so cute in that dress. I can't.
I want that dress. It's so cute.
Yeah, Tor picked a good day to come in.
Yeah, and Erdine looks fantabulous too. I don't know what that is. Like, it's not called a crop top. I don't know what it is, but it looks really good.
It does.
I have a sports bra that looks like that.
It's a sports bra.
Basically.
And she's like, damn straight.
Like, what is this office dress code?
Right? None. She's like, and Poppy turns around and she thinks it's just Quincy. And she's like, oh, and she bought this super cute lip gloss. And then she sees, boom, boom, Tora with his hair looking like wild and all over the place. Looking stunning. He just is so beautiful. And his black shirt, you know, like filling up the whole doorway. And she's like, she has a little blush. The wind is blowing her hair. It's like a moment. And she's just like looking at him framed in the doorway. That's where it ends. And she does look amazing. She's like cute little bum. Like, you know, so cute.
I have to say, Tora in this outfit though is like, first of all, I love that good Dorito shape. Like he's shaped like a Dorito. I'm here for it. But just like the open collar, and you can see the tattoos peeking out, and just I love tattoos. I'm planning. I just finally got an appointment to get like essentially like a half or 3/4 sleeve on one of my arms, and I have a whole other like webtoons theme one that I want to do on like the other side of my arm.
We have to see it.
I can't wait. My appointment's not until March of next year because the artist I wanted to work with is booked out that far. So I'm like, it's gonna be a minute, but like I can't wait. But I'm just like, so like just I love when his tattoos are just like on display and there. So like the last couple of episodes I have been, it's been so good.
Yeah.
You guys have any tattoos now?
I do. I have sun, moon, and stars down my spine.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
No, the Judaism doesn't allow tattoos, so nope.
How about you? Do you have any?
I do. I have one on my shoulder. Never surrender, Perki Petola. That's what my mom used to call me.
Oh, wow. Wait, never surrender what?
Perki Petola.
Oh wow, what does that mean?
So whenever I asked her, she was like, "Oh, it's just what you are." It wasn't until I went to visit some family in Rome and I was showing them the tattoo, and I was like, "Yeah, I got it, Perki Petola." They started dying of laughter because
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
"Wait, what?" So it's not Italian. It's Neapolitan dialect for old gossiping women. Completely.
No way.
I didn't know. And I'm like, that was her mental association with me. And one day it'll be true.
Thanks, Mom.
That is hilarious.
I have a little flower right here that I got with 2 of my friends just to represent like us meeting in Florence.
Nice.
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh, and then my brother, my cousin, and my grandma have the Never Surrender part too. So that's like a little group thing too.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's nice. So let's finish up this episode and maybe we'll do like a bonus question. What do you think of, like, why didn't Poppy, besides for like the chicken thing, maybe like, I don't know, here's her reaction. Do you think like she's happy to see him? She's nervous about seeing him? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's very vague at this point.
Lily's holding out on us.
Oh, so much.
I think she's holding out on us. I don't know why. I don't know what, but I'm sure that we're going to get cued in on what is going through Poppy's mind as well. It could be very similar to Tora, where it's like check phone, edit book, check phone, edit book, check phone, edit book. You know what I mean? Or maybe something changed.
I like the theory that she's had the conversation with Granny. Like now that Granny's home from the hospital, they did like a FaceTime check-in and Granny's like, hey, we really need to have this conversation. And that might be partially what's holding her up. But I think she truly is caught off guard by Tora coming into the office, because other than that, like first day, he's probably never come into the office. Like when since he did like his bodyguard sweep and like checked everything. So like to see him in the office, like she knows about his tattoos. So seeing him, they're all exposed. The clan insignia is not covered up. Like this is a whole new side of public Tora that she hasn't really seen in her world. So she's just like, I think she's just caught off guard by all of him being there.
Yeah, because maybe it was different too when he was fully uncovered within Moonbright, where people wouldn't recognize him. It's a little difference in the office, or even in Erin City, to be honest. Like she might feel differently, she might not, but we know that Erdine already knows. So it could be like you mentioned as well, she just got caught off guard. Like I'm sure there's something, it's just hard to really quantify what it is, because Lily's holding out on us.
And I can't wait for her to reveal it.
Next week. Hopefully.
There is
next
one
2
thing.
years.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
There's one thing I can't unsee. I've been looking at her dress and like loving it. And then it kind of reminds me of LaCroix, and I really can't unsee it.
Yes.
Oh no.
Filter bottle.
Yeah, like this picture in particular. Like
oh, that leads me to a good bonus question. What do you think for a bonus question we do? Which food does every character remind you of?
Okay.
All right. So, and the recording will go to our bonus question.
Sure.